A retired Army colonel walked into a college, frat house, in full dress uniform. What happened next went viral in 6 hours. This is the story of Rhea Miller, and the revenge her father served ice cold. Rhea wasn't the girl you'd notice. Perfectly made bed, color-coded notes, alarm set for 0500. She didn't learn discipline from school. She learned it from her father, Colonel David Miller. 22 years active duty. A man who believed respect was earned, never forced. Then came Chad Bryant, frat president, trust fund, used his dad's money and his mother's charm, but earned nothing himself. He noticed Rhea, because everyone else ignored her. You move like you're marching. He laughed one day in the quad. She didn't react. That was mistake number 1. From then on, Chad hunted her, mocked her answers in class, accidentally shoved her in hallways, spread rumors. Army brat. Probably sleeps in combat boots. Death by 1,000 small humiliations. Rhea stayed silent, because soldiers don't break over words. Then came the party. End of semester bash. Everyone's going. Even you, soldier girl. She didn't want to go. But isolation? That's another form of surrender. So she went. She stood by the wall. Music thumping. Sweat and cheap cologne. That's when she saw them. Chad, his friends, and a gallon bucket of red punch. Already smiling. Hey everyone. Chad shouts over the music. Make way, our little soldier's thirsty. Before she can move, splash. Punch pours over her head. Sticky. Freezing. Staining her blue shirt crimson. The music doesn't stop, but everything else does. A slow, stunned silence. Then laughter. Phone's out. Recording. Chad bows like he just won a war. Rhea doesn't scream. She doesn't cry. She feels the punch dripping down her neck, into her shoes. Hears the laughter echoing. Sees the phones pointed at her like weapons. She walks out. Walks home. Throws her clothes in the sink. Then she picks up her phone and calls her dad. Everything okay, sweetheart? He asks. His voice steady like always. Rhea hesitates. She's never asked for help. Not once. No, Dad, she says quietly. Not this time. Silence on the other end. Then, I'll be there in the morning. He doesn't ask what happened. He doesn't need to. The next morning, 0700 sharp. He's there. On campus. Pressed army dress uniform. Rows of medals catching the sunlight. Face like carved stone. Show me where he lives, he says. They walk to the frat house. The lawn still littered with red cups. The smell of stale beer and regret hanging in the air. Rhea knocks. Chad opens the door, still in yesterday's clothes, smirking. Then he sees the colonel. The smirk dies. Are you Chad Bryant? Colonel Miller's voice cuts through the morning like a blade. Yeah. Who's asking? I'm Colonel David Miller, United States Army. Retired. He steps forward. And you assaulted my daughter. Chad glances at Rhea. Back to the colonel. Tries to laugh it off. Dude, it was a joke. Just a prank. A joke. The colonel doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't need to. You think humiliation is power. You think respect comes from fear. That's not leadership, son. That's cowardice. Chad's face goes pale. Behind him, his frat brothers are frozen in the doorway. Phone's already out, but this time, recording him. A real leader, the colonel continues, stepping closer. Protects those who can't protect themselves. You hunt them. You mock them. You break them down for entertainment. Chad tries to speak. Nothing comes out. So let me be very clear. The colonel's voice drops lower. This ends today. You will apologize in writing. You will take responsibility, publicly. And if I ever hear you've done this to anyone else, I will make it my personal mission to ensure every future employer, every graduate school, every person you ever want respect from knows exactly who you are. Silence. The kind that crushes. Do we understand each other? Chad nods. Barely. His hand shaking. The colonel turns to leave. Then stops. Looks back. One more thing. My daughter didn't call me because she was weak. She called me because she was done being silent. There's a difference. Learn it. By noon, the video is everywhere. Army Colonel destroys frat bully. 2 million views. By 3 p.m., the university opens an investigation. Chad's frat is suspended pending review. By 5 p.m., a handwritten apology letter arrives at Rhea's dorm. Signed, shaking handwriting. By the next morning, Chad withdraws from school. Rhea walks into class that Monday, head high, no longer invisible. A girl she's never spoken to stops her in the hallway. "That was your dad." Rhea nods. "That was the most badass thing I've ever seen." That night, Rhea sits with her father at a diner off campus. He orders coffee. She orders pancakes. "You didn't need me, you know," he says quietly. "You were already strong enough." "Maybe," Rhea says, "but I'm glad I called." He smiles, first time in days. "You don't need me anymore, but I'll always show up when you call." She wasn't just a soldier's daughter anymore. She was a soldier, without ever putting on a uniform. And she had won her first war. Not with violence, not with revenge, with something far more powerful, the truth, and a father who refused to let his daughter fight alone.